is or what respect?
I never thought in my life that I would go to the jail in America.
I want Larissa out of my life.
What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to Graham. A new season of 90 Day Fiance is about to start up, and our boy Colt, who I've made a video on before, is going to be on it once again looking for love. This poor gamer dude cannot find a wife that is not going to be crazy. So let's take a look at his story so far. TLC just uploaded this amazing montage of his entire story with his last ex-wife, because that's right, he's already married someone from overseas, and it did not work, but I guess he said, you know what, second tries the charm. So without further ado, let's just see how it goes for this guy.
My name is Colt. I'm 33 years old. I live with my cats
Colt, breakfast.
and my mother, Debbie.
So for those of you who have not seen that video, because it was a long time ago on this channel, I think it was over a year ago that I made it, but Colt basically lives with his mom, who is pretty much like his live-in maid. Like, it is a very weird dynamic. She makes all his food, does all his chores, and that's why he hasn't been able to grow up. He's still 33 years old, living with like 20 cats and just playing video games all day. So it's no wonder he's having trouble finding people, and he has to resort to finding people overseas that only want to marry him for the opportunity to become a citizen.
After having struck out a few times online with American girls, I thought maybe I could search outside the country, maybe find a girl.
He's basically saying, well, you know, I struck out with almost everyone locally here in Vegas. You know, there's not many women around here that I can really have the chance to talk to. So instead, I'm going to hop on a chat room, talk to someone overseas, and hope that they know just enough English to conversate with me, but not enough English to realize how much of a loser I am.
After 5 days, I knew that I wanted to spend the rest of my life with her. So as we were leaving for the airport, I decided to propose to her.
And that's right, he went on a vacation to meet her, and at the end of this, he proposed to her because he felt that powerful about this love. Apparently, that's what happens when you fall in love for the first time. This dude just jumped in, and he was head over heels for this girl that barely knew him. And well, soon you're gonna see how badly that turned out. So real quick, I'm gonna skip past her first day because that's what I made the video on originally. She hates Vegas, she hates that he didn't show up to the airport with flowers, and she already is super needy and just annoying with this guy, which is a bad combination because he's the type that's just gonna let her walk all over him and do everything she says because he's so insecure and just wants this to work out.
That is for his money, period. You think about riches and glory and glam and all this other.
So I'm pretty sure this is Colt's brother or just someone in his family, and I did not really see this part when I originally made that video, but this dude just goes off on them and is telling the truth in front of everybody, even though it's the uncomfortable truth. He's saying to him, dude, this is not love. You are delusional if you think this woman is really in love with you. She knows nothing about you. You're obviously not the type physically that she would have been into, and there's no actual emotional connection here, so there's no basis of an actual relationship. She's lying to you so that she can get all your money and citizenship, according to this guy.
You're a lucky one because he deserves better. He deserves better. Stop it. Welcome to Vegas. Asses cheap. Asses.
See, this is where her annoyingness starts. Larissa just has a very weird way of interacting with people. She's very confrontational and yells, so it's not a good moment here when she fights with his brother. Apparently, she's gonna be a millionaire in a few years. No idea how that's gonna start since she just got here, and Colt isn't exactly well off himself since he's, you know, living with mommy.
Good luck. Good luck. Good luck.
Don't come in here screaming.
But regardless, she's gonna have a Jaguar one day and take him to drive to her, whatever that means. See, that's an amazing first impression. You just met this guy's family for the first time besides his mom, who's his live-in wife, and it ends with a screaming match where you say you're not invited to my wedding. Yeah, that is a wonderful first impression that you definitely want to leave with this family, who's always gonna remember you as that crazy chick that they've never met and is just angry all the time and fights with people.
I'm sorry, Colt. I would like to say I'm sorry. Today is my wedding day.
So I guess they turned things around pretty quickly. She just gave him some puppy dog eyes and an apology like, hey, sorry your brother hates me. Anyways, let's keep getting married. We don't need that to distract us. And it fast forwards right into the ceremony, which as you guys are about to see, there's something so hilarious here. Check this out. So we have Colt walking down the aisle here, doing his best impression of a human smile, just like the good old Mark Zuckerberg. And I'm convinced both these dudes are just robots at this point and don't know how to feel human emotion because it looks very difficult for him to put on this smile. But the funny thing I was talking about is we look at this wedding and they're doing their vows. Who is in the audience? That same family member that was just uninvited. In fact, he's one of the only people at the wedding, so that makes it so much funnier to me. It also kind of makes it look a bit more scripted. I feel like if this was a real wedding, they would have more people, but maybe, I don't know Colt's situation. He might just not have that many people he's talked to or is friends with. Now, even though that guy is at the wedding, he looks very unhappy, I do gotta note. And I would be too if I saw my family member just, making a mistake like this. Come on, dude.
Larissa and I got into a fight. And this night, she just kept going and going and going. I was worried.
So, yeah, there's the bombshell. Right after they got married, they get into an argument and it ends up with him calling the cops on her, and she gets hauled away and is facing trial in like a month. Talk about a great honeymoon, and she gets a fun vacation to the local precinct. It's a great way to reward yourself for getting married. You definitely want to call the cops on your spouse and have that whole thing blow up. I mean, I think that's everyone's dream once they finally tie the knot.
The case was dismissed. Now I'm reborn.
But would you look at this? The cases got dropped. She's reborn. She's a brand new person. These mistakes were made in the past, but you know what? People can grow, you guys. People can improve upon themselves, and she won't make the same mistake again. I know that her and Colt moving forward are just gonna be beautiful. Let's watch.
I'm freaking out right now because this afternoon, Larissa was arrested.
That's right. We got Colt doing his most dramatic eyebrows while saying this, but it sounds like he has to call 911 for the same exact thing, and she gets taken away again. You know what they say, lightning never strikes twice, so this might just be a pattern with her, dude. In my opinion, you might want to dip before things get a little bit too sketchy. Who knows, man? This is just bad. Also, I love how he words this. He always says, I'm just so freaked out. She's currently getting processed at the police station, and I just don't know what's going on. Like, dude, you called the cops. I'm not saying that was necessarily a bad call. Definitely call them if it's something that needs to happen. But knowing Colt, he might not have needed to call them, but still did it anyways. But regardless, it's just so funny to me. He always acts so surprised that the cops came and took her away when he's the one that called them. And like clockwork, she gets out of the second case as well. I mean, she needs to call up TK and give him some tips, because obviously she can do the race way better than he did. But no, seriously guys, I really do think she's gonna change after this. I know people can sometimes make the same mistake over and over and it's frustrating, but she's an adult. She's gonna be able to learn from this, right?
Larissa was arrested again. Larissa's been here for a year and she's been arrested 3 times.
So, never mind. Turns out she might have just been a crazy bad apple. Colt says it's only because his mom thought that she was not good to have around the house, so I'm sure that's the only reason, he does whatever mommy says. Without that, he probably would have still just let her be around him, and it would have become a regular thing where he has to call the popo, and she gets hauled off away for a couple days just to cool down. Thankfully, that cycle is now broken. But, things are moving forward. Let's see how Colt's life has been since he's been recently divorced.
I filed for divorce. I got a new car, and it has air conditioning.
That's right, I may not have a bay anymore, but I got this sick new Mazda. AC, baby. That's how simple this dude's life is. Like, it's really the small pleasures to him. I know a new car is exciting, but aren't you a little bit heartbroken that you just got married and it ended within a year? Larissa, on the other hand, has actually been seeing someone. This better be good. I mean, she already picked right with Colt the first time. I don't know how you can improve on him, but let's just see who she's been dating.
My name is Eric, and I live here in Las Vegas. And I'm here to pick up Larissa for a date tonight.
I am not completely sure if there's just something a little bit off with this guy or he's on something, but regardless, I feel like Larissa's going to end up in his car's trunk at some point, and that is a very scary thought. Someone please check in on them after the filming of this and make sure that everyone's okay, because this dude seems a little bit sketchy. TLC uploaded the first part of their new series with Colt, 90 Day Fiance, Happily Ever After with a question mark, and wouldn't you know it, he found a new person from Brazil that looks a lot like Larissa, if you ask me. Let's see how this date goes.
I really appreciate you inviting me out here.
Chicago's nice.
So as you can see, beautiful conversationalist, just like he was with Larissa. They're going to have some very in-depth conversation that I'm going to, of course, skip. Sarcasm, they barely talk at all. But let's just get to the good stuff, shall we?
At one point in my life, I had 15 cats.
You're crazy.
The one conversation topic this guy can actually hold for more than like 30 seconds is his cats. He had 15 at one point. If you don't hear that someone has owned 15 cats in their life and not just ditch on that date immediately, you're just signing up for a bad time. He's the exact male version of a crazy cat lady.
No.
Oh, wait.
Good boy.
Good girl.
I don't even know what just transpired there. I almost wanted to close my eyes halfway through that after he was fumbling the, handshake, but then they had to have this weird little sly talk on the side. So I think the rest of their date, though, goes good regardless of that weird handshake interaction they just had. She even gets a little bit flirty later on, which I cannot show because you cannot talk about anything on a YouTube video if you actually want to make money from it. But that is Colt's story with this show. I'm really excited to see the upcoming clips with this new girl that he found because I know it's just going to be just as messy as the first saga, hopefully better somehow. But yeah, guys, let me know what you thought of this down in the comments below. As always, I'll see you guys in the next video, and until then, peace out.